will start in just a minute to go and finish preparing my coffee. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Hey, Mr. Sparks, how's it going? Welcome to the podcast. I don't know how the audio is today. Yes, Quick Fang. That's actually one of the things we're going to discuss today. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on. And no, this is not the right folder. This is the right folder. Okay. No. There we are. Yeah, that's one of the things we're going to talk about right here. It's Quick Fang has returned. I'm so glad for myself and also for Arbiter because he was so gutted. You're very curious about the Wasei English folder? Yes, we'll get to that in a minute. But Quick Fang is back! The best sword in the freaking game. It's not even about damage or what it does. It's solely. It was so gutted, right? It's the way that the sword is held as you move about the map. You hold it out behind you and you run, and it's perfect. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. There's another... hey, Nate. There's a few other swords where you sort of hold them up, like in front of you, like you're marching like one of those knights, where the knights at the round table, thunk, thunk, thunk. But Quick Fang, it's morphin' time, baby. All right, enjoy work. So yeah, Quick Fang is back. I kind of jumped ahead of myself. But yes. So let's take a look at, first off, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time it is in your part of the planet. Salutations. This is iMorph TV, your cult leader of the Fancy Coffee Club / cult / community / all around good group of guys and gals, humans. You're updating the hotfix now? Uh-oh. Wait, there was a hotfix? Like, how was that today, or was that a from the day before yesterday? And you're listening to, gonna shift around a lot. We are listening to Breakbeat Kings. They provide the audio tunes for the each episode every week. Aside from the weeks that I decided to play Returnal instead. And SIPS, which I don't know what SIPS stands for, but SIPS is great because it allows me to resample images and do some other things. Okay. That means I upgraded that yesterday. Mr. Sparks. CSV kit, not CSV toolkit, but CSV kit to go from comma separated value text format blah de blah to the lovely tables you see here because I am lazy. And I also use this for my students. Brilliant. Best thing I've ever done. So good. Puts the information right in front of them. We identify the information. They then just speak looking at the table. That's it. They don't deviate. They just talk about what's right in front of them. Now, excuse me. For example, oh, oh, uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. My service pick? Yeah, it is. Yes. Yeah. Um, ba, So right now, you can't see it all because it's broken. It's broken. It's all this too big. But anyway, they're talking about the chashu on ramen, and they have to identify. They're going to identify each ingredient, and then give 3 impressions: fatty, thick, juicy, lean, thin, dry. Yeah, and then from that, where was I? What photo was this supposed to be? Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So anyway, that CSV kit, it goes from a text file to a table, and the students talk, and we identify the columns. Thank you, Silver. I don't know if he's still here, but thank you, Silver, for straightening me out about each column has to be unique or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they identify what they're going to talk about, and then they supply whatever information, and then we have conversations, and they can only focus on what's on that chart. The conversation bit's like, hey, how you doing? What's up? What are you doing for lunch? Oh, I don't like that restaurant because the chashu is too blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's me. That's a very young iMorph. Very young. Yeah. Yeah, we also have a coffee command. That's right. Also, curl to grab images when you are lazy. Just grab that URL and pull down that image. So easy. That being said, the chashu from my local ramen place is absolutely mwah. I would see if you were my student, Silver. Give me three adjectives. Dry. Yeah, it's very accurate, that command. It is pretty good, right? Dry, fatty, thin, tender, juicy. Come on, man. Come on. I sound like Biden. Every time I say that, I feel like Biden's like, he stole that and he ruined it. He ruined it for me. Curse that man. So, gotta be accurate. Come on, you're a programmer. You can't have a variable that's like, tender, juicy, fatty, thick, soft, tasty, awesome. I'll take it. And multiple pieces. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a solid chashu review right there. What is the name of this restaurant? Because if it's tender, juicy, fatty, thick, soft, tasty, and awesome, I'm going to assume tasty also equals savory, I am in. And then we have ImageCat to display images like the one that you see here. You see here. That is being displayed by ImageCat. And Canva is a family-owned place, so you'll have to come to Chiba for it. Gosh darn it. Okay. I'll get on my Mama Chadi and I'll cycle over to your place. Just give me like 2.5 days or so. I should get one of those little canisters, just in case I get a puncture, right? And these are the things that bring this podcast to you, plus my weird and wonderful brain. Okay, so today we're going to talk about this guy that I met here locally in my town, and he has now followed his dream and races in the NASCAR Truck Series. This is a Mr. Akinori Okata. We're going to talk about Tower Wisdom, some words of wisdom, destiny, and wase eigo, which is sort of Japanese English. Some of it's pretty good. For example, it's not on the list, but Hochkisu, which is a stapler. Turns out the guy that made the stapler is named something something Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss or something like that. So that's what the Japanese call it. Instead of stapler, they call it a Hotchkiss. It's just like us saying Kleenex or Xerox. Okay, so I can't see what the different files are. Let's go to 3. No. Let's go to 2. No. Let's go to 4. Ha! Okay. Yeah, one day. One day. So. This is Akanori Ogata. This photograph was taken in 2008 at the local mall. I think Silver is where we have, I think we went for Burger King, and there's a Toys R Us right across the road. So there was a big display. They had a NASCAR truck, I think, and then he was there signing autographs. Walked up, we had a chat. I photographed him, and he said, "Hey, could you send those photos to me?" I said, "Sure," and I did. I could not remember his name. I remember him, and since 2008 until about 3 days ago, or a week, I'm not sure when. Like, I wonder whatever happened to that guy. So I'm on Twitter, as you are, right? Wasting time during the day, kind of doom scrolling. Don't doom scroll; it's bad for you. Actually, I have a politics list that when I want to doom scroll, I just go through that. And I started following this guy, the CEO of Camping World. Apparently there's this huge. Okay, oh, you're gonna play a survival game? It's called Grounded, and all I think about it is, it looks like, honey, I Shrunk the Kids on roids. Nice. I need a screenshot of that later. And the CEO of Camping World. I can't remember his name. He jumped into this whole brouhaha about the NASCAR Truck Series. It's a lower tier series, and it wasn't getting much love. So I don't know who it was. One of the big guys from NASCAR, like the top, the premier of NASCAR regular racing, went and ran in the truck race, and people were upset. All you're doing is stealing someone's dream of victory. And he said, no, 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 no. These guys need exposure. You didn't even know about these guys or care about these guys until I decided to race in it. Now we have TV viewers. We have interest. Who are these people? Oh, I like that guy. People found favorites. Maybe once or twice he participated, but that was a lot of, you know how humans can be dumb, right? You shouldn't be there. Yeah. If Psy Dog or Monkey Matt or Cyrus said, "Oh," or Lester said, "Yo, I'm gonna race with you guys in your little lobby race, your series with that Laser has created." I'm like, "Well, he's gonna crush us. Like, you gonna stream it? Oh yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. Bet, bet. Hey, you guys." Sai says, "Oh, I'm in Morph's race series every Sunday. You guys should check it out. Follow Morph, follow Silver, follow Laser, follow the guys in the community. They're all great, and we all win. He's gonna crush us. Not important. Not important." So this whole war kicks off, and now the Truck Series is getting all this love. Right? People are talking about it. Blah blah blah. I don't know how much involvement the CEO of Camping World has had in the past, but he popped up on my radar. He said, "Hey, if you don't have a sponsor, this is the deal. I'll give you like $10,000 or $15,000 if you place here. We'll wrap your truck for you." Hey, Sonic. Yeah, see, that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. Like, "Hi, I'm over here. Oh, that guy Sai, yeah, Sai is, oh yeah, Sai is awesome. Stuntman. He's in SAG. Uh, thank you very much, Sonic. I get, you can't see me blushing, but I'm blushing. Thank you, sir. You guys cannot. Oh, thank God I don't have a camera. It's 75% blushing, 90% smiling, 20% coy look on face. If you could just wrap those up together, don't at me about the percentages. Just don't. Just don't. Just roll with it. Roll with it. So the CEO of Camping World started wrapping all these trucks. He had 10. He sponsored 10 trucks the first time that I saw it. 10 guys like, ooh, ooh, me, me. Through that, I found this guy. Oh, I can't remember his name now. He's either retired Navy or Navy, previous Navy, football player, track runner. Now he's a NASCAR driver. He's like, ooh, ooh, me too. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna follow you too. So Twitter's like, oh, so you like this NASCAR truck stuff? I'm like, yeah. All right. And it's just been feeding me stuff, right? About NASCAR trucks, blah, 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 blah. And then boom, I see this Japanese guy saying, hey, me too. And I'm like, wait a minute. Stop. I think I know this guy. I spent an hour going through my photo library trying to find this dude because I had not marked the photo. There was no GPS data. I've had 3 different iPhoto libraries, tens of thousands of photographs. Okay, ridiculous number of photographs, and I found it. And then I pinged him on Twitter, and I was like, yes, did it. And this is him, 2008. He moved to North Carolina or South Carolina in 2010, and he's lived there ever since. So yeah, that's how the world works. We're gonna pop around because this is his Twitter right here. Absolutely wonderful guy. I promised him. I said, "Hey, the next time you're back in Japan, uh, I'll take you to Burger King, get you a double waffle with cheese and a Coke." And he said, "Make it onion rings." I'm like, "Bet, onion rings." I love onion rings, but I can't eat onions anymore because of reasons. So that is Akinori Ogata. If you enjoy motorsports and you want to support someone like the underdog, go support this guy. He doesn't really know my name. Just say the black guy from from Tokyo said to follow you. All right, where are we here? Oh yes, that's right. That's right. Okay, let's move on to Tower Wisdom. This was initially Zavala Says, but I had to change it to Tower Wisdom because uh, this is from Eva Levante or whatever her name is. And as with all video games, characters have the NPCs, sort of vendors, and then NPCs always have their lines, right? Um, so Eva, for however long she's been saying this, I've heard her say this all the time. Give the world what you want to receive. And it never really registered until like this pandemic and then this whole election thing and all the cancel culture of this and people hating on this, and I switched from left to right, and now all my friends from high school, some of my friends from high school have disowned me. My parents have stopped talking to me. If you do that, if you have a friend that used to have the same political beliefs or held the same political beliefs as you, and they switch sides, and you disown them, you are garbage. I'll say it right there. Done. I don't care if you go left to right. It's more common people shift from left to right to be disowned. Right to left, people just sort of tolerate. It's like, okay. It's usually once people shift from the right to the left, then they disown all their friends from the right. It's usually the left disowning. They do most of the disowning. So they're angry people, man. Angry. So all that hate and anger that's being pointed at the different groups and different people. You think you're the good guys, right? What if I switch from mid-right to mid-left? Hey, welcome to my world. I sort of ride that fine line myself, buddy. You're not gonna hear anything from me. The left and the right will hate you in the US. The left and the right will hate you. It's like, make up your mind. You're either on our team or you're not on our team, and that makes you the enemy. That's it. It doesn't matter if you're left or right. There are still tribes. So when you're tribeless, like myself, it's a hard world, man. It's a hard world. It's a hard not life. But if you lean too far one way or the other, and that is why I never follow politics. Exactly. If you fall too far one way or the other, it's like having a steering wheel or a controller with constant drift. It's not gonna work out. You sit in the middle and you use what you need. If you need to turn left, turn left. If you turn right, turn right. If you need a bit of anarchism, be an anarchist. If you need to be a libertarian, be libertarian. It's like tools. It's the hammer. It's about the hammer. If you're always like, this is the way it always has to be, then you're just using a hammer to fix everything. Clowns to the left, jokers to the right. And I meant, yes. Half clown, half joker. Yes, exactly. Half Batman, half Joker. That's what you want. And part commissioner. You gotta have all those things, yeah? So I went down this sort of a slight religious journey in my youth. Not very deep, trust me. If you know me, you know me. But I read about there are these religions that have, like, you go into the temple and there are 4 demons in the room, right? They're like the dog demons or whatever. And the Christians sort of said, oh my God, you worship demons. Turns out Christians were wrong. What you're meant to do is to sit in the middle of the room and put all the bad things in the corners. Like, okay, there's that bad thing, that bad thought that I had. Here's this negative thing over here. And you put them in the 4 corners, and then you just center to yourself. It's like, it's not a part of me. So this is as political as I'm going to get. Well, that's probably a lie, but right now, just sit in the middle and be that rational human being. It's like, okay, yes, we do need to offer support for this group, but we have to be fiscally responsible on how we go about doing it. Right? You just can't throw money at things. Okay, I'm ranting. Anyway, give the world what you want to receive. I give you guys all my love. All my love. I love you so much. So much. That's why I also love Stone Mountain, because he loves us and he wants to make us laugh and he wants to make us better and he wants us to forget, just that escapism for 2 hours or 15 minutes of video that you're watching. If you watch his live stream, so on and so forth. But yeah, give the world what you want to receive. Silver asked me the other day, it's like, how, I'm going to contradict myself. Why is it you don't get angry when someone punts you? I said, good. And I realize now, because if I were to do it to someone else unintentionally, I wouldn't want them to take it the wrong way and to be vindictive. Now, I'll browbeat myself to death. That's a different story. Right? And also being a stoic is just like, well, I couldn't control that. They decided to punt me. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. All I can try to do is move forward and, make the best out of the situation. What are the tools I have at hand? You guys have given me tons of tools to preserve my tires. Silver with brake and yeet. All the things that you guys have told me, I try to use to overcome the adversity that's experienced when I'm racing. Now, if I do something dumb, and I know it's dumb when I do it, just before I do it, then I get mad at myself. But yeah, give the world what you want to receive. All right. I think we're done. Yes. So let's very quickly move to Destiny. And that's right. So first let's talk about Quick Fang, real quick. Quick Fang is back, baby. What's up, McCrowbad? Look at this guy chatting, just chatting, chit-chatting. Having all the chats and the chits and the chits and the chats. Like a psychopath. I mean, maybe. The Path of Psychos. Exactly. Exactly, Sonic. It's like, why don't you get mad? Why don't you ever get mad? It's like, it's no use acting out. It doesn't help anything. And it takes away from meeting the objective, right? It's like, yeah, well, you can rant afterward, right? When you're done, it's like, I can't believe that guy freaking hit me. What was he thinking? But at the time, you just let it go. Focus on the task at hand and unwind and decompress afterward. All right. A lot of people, and this is another case of that. I am not a programmer. I'm going to prefix this with I am not a programmer. But I've listened to enough dev talk. I know a dev or two. I watched how Destiny changed, how No Man's Sky changed, and they both said the same thing. There was a point in the game's evolution where they had to go through and make things that were fixed, that were not mutable, right? You couldn't change it. They had to go through and change all these things to make them mutable, if that's the correct word. No Man's Sky went through this. They went through and said, okay, we've got to make all these things so that they can be destroyed or they're interactive. We can do things to them. We can move them around. They're not fixed objects that the characters, the players can interact with and limit whatever they can do with the code or with the game. Both Destiny and Bungie and Hello Games mentioned that concept. So I'm assuming that's a common thing. That you have to decide what's going to be fixed forever, that you're never going to change, and then things that can be moved around and renamed and so on and so forth. I don't know to what level they can do this. I just have a very, 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 very 1 millimeter deep understanding of what goes on in that world of development. So, and then Destiny went through and they changed some weapons, and they've added different slots, how the weapons, how you upgrade the weapons. And I think some of the earlier weapons were under the old system, like the really old system from over the years. So they sunset a bunch of stuff, and I think here comes an assumption. This is an assumption, not fact. Okay? I believe that we're sunsetting this stuff. But in reality, they were just trying to hide the fact that, we had to go through and just rewrite some of it. Because Quick Fang is back, and there are two versions of it. There's the original version, which can't be updated, and then the new version, which can be updated. So that tells me that they are not the same thing. On the surface, it appears the same. But I think in terms of code and how they work or whatever they can do with it, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm not a real programmer. I just dream of being one. There had to be some changes. Because now the power is infinite. You can keep leveling it up forever. It will never be sunset again. So I went from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. I think things got changed also. But yeah, I don't know how I got down this path. How did I get started on this, you guys? But Quick Fang is back. Best freaking sword from a visual standpoint in terms of how you interact with it, how it responds to your character movement. It's the best sword in the game. Do I use it to kill people? No. Do I run around with it just to look cool? Yes. And that's enough of that. All right. Next, there was a big update. They introduced the new season, and they introduced Transmog, but we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But first, the new Crucible load screen. Ah, so good. So it puts your stats, right? They had this nice, I think it's a fixed background, and you can cursor through your teammates. I don't know what that percentage is. I don't think it's my actual KD. I don't know what that is. Maybe it was from the previous match. Unsure what that figure is. Because it changes. It fluctuated. The next match, I think it was a 1 point something. Like, Why is it fluctuating so much? And you can tab through and see your teammates' stats and maybe whatever exotic they have, possibly. Next time I'll hit L2 and see what happens. Normally I don't have enough time. So that little thing right here, we're prominently displayed. We're a cult. We're a cult. Yes, we are. The best cult. This little change has made me so incredibly happy. No one asked for it. It exists in trials, but I never even thought about them putting it up on regular Crucible. But here it is. So my heart is happy. These are the things that make iMorph happy. Little things like this. The music stopped because I didn't put it on replay. Oops. Oopsies. Okay. So yeah, that's one of the cute little changes. Also, if you do play Destiny on a regular basis, when you go to the character stream, select a piece of armor, and then select the mod, like the slot for your mods. Cursor over a mod, and then hit triangle. That's all I'm going to say. This is another thing that brings me joy. And you would say, Morph, there's absolutely something wrong with you. And I would say, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. But you know what? Don't care. Don't care. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with my weirdness. All right, let's move on to Transmog. We no longer have to keep a bunch of garbage. And by garbage, I mean shaders. We no longer have to hoard different pieces of armor, right? So they've separated the stats, or they've created ornaments that we can apply to any armor. People up in arms, but you can only do 9 or 10 per season, and they want you to pay. It's like the minute they said you can turn any suit or any piece into an ornament that you can apply to any piece of armor, I knew exactly the pieces I wanted. There are only maybe 3. There were actually 4, but 2 of them I turned into ornaments, looked at them and said, nah, I'm good. Yes, yes, they did. So here we have, see joy. So here we have the appearance customization. Now I didn't show you the whole screen about how to go about it, but what you do is all of your armor and all of your shaders are available. You have to talk to Ada, blah blah blah. There's a loop. There's a whole loop involved about how to get the currency so that you can purchase or convert regular armor into an ornament. Not important right now. You select a piece of armor, you turn it into an ornament, and you can affix it to anything. You can apply it to anything. All of your shaders no longer take up your inventory. They're all available. You don't have to go back and buy them. They're just there. I love Dead Orbit. Well, I love the Dead Orbit chest, and I love the Dead Orbit boots. So that was an immediate thing, as you can see. Anti-extinction vest, anti-extinction legs. You haven't met anyone from Dead Orbit. I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know. If you want to chase like achievements and ornaments and stuff, then maybe. I'm not sure. It looks like Tron though. Like some of the new 6-man activity looks like Tron. So if you're into Tron, that might draw you in. So you have your shaders. You have your armor piece on the left, helm, gloves, chest, legs, and class item. Then you have your shader. Is it kind of obvious? I like the Carminica. Does it show? It probably shows. And then you have your ornament. Now I don't have the ornament for the exotic helmet. So this is the Transmog, and yeah, I'm quite happy with this. There might be a few changes later. I don't quite understand how the shaders interact with the base color of the piece of armor that you have selected. It's weird. I don't get it. So, and here's from the side. So look at it, so suave. Yes. Dead orbit for the win, boys and girls. Dead orbit for the win. And then, of course, we had to have the Memory of Cade cloak. Never taking it off. I can never. I don't have to take it off now. I can use different cloaks. Doesn't matter. I can just apply the ornament. I can have arc cloaks. Right, one arc. That's masterworked. One solo that's masterworked, and one void that's masterworked. And then just apply the ornament so they all look the same. And that'll solve my whole like problem of organizing pieces of armor for blah 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 blah. But yeah, Memory of Cade, Cade 6. We miss you, Cade. Come back. Alrighty. And maybe there's a 4. Nope, that was it. Okie dokie. Alright, that's everything from Destiny. Alright, let's move to the part that has Silver's attention. Wase English. Waseigo. So, Wase English is Japanese English. And that's where things have been sort of mangled, right? I think you guys have mangled umami to death. Hancho, which is sort of like leader, and head honcho is like boss. I don't know. But we all do it, right? We pick up words from other languages, or we don't know what something is called, or it's too difficult to pronounce, so we sort of mangle it, right? It happens in all languages. Yeah, all those things. So, all right, we'll start with the first one. This one used to, and it makes sense. The first one is front glass. Now, my question to you guys, those of you who are still here, what is front glass? Silver, if you know, don't say anything. What is front glass? I don't know how much lag there is. I can't do katakana. Goes back to work. So, front glass is basically windshield or windscreen. So American English, I think we call it windshield, and then British English is windscreen. Also, so then we have windshield wiper or windscreen wiper, and they just call it wiper, I think. I don't even know what they really call it, but it's probably something like wiper. So the first time I heard, I can't speak katakana. I can't do it. It's so difficult because there are too many vowels, and I mispronounce it. Midnight Chef and Bad Daughter, when I try to say things like English words with a Japanese katakana, they look at me and just shake their heads like, "You're trying to sound Japanese, aren't you?" I'm like, yes. Fail. Total fail. So furanto garasu. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I can't. It's front glass. There are too many vowels. There's a F, there's a U after the first part, right? And there's a fu, ro, I guess it's just like a consonant. To, there's another vowel there. Ga at the end of ga. Da, another vowel there. And su. There are too many vowels. There's only one vowel sound in front and only one vowel sound in glass, which means there are only two. You put the words together, they're 2 syllables. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 freaking syllables, which is why I can't do katakana English. Words like banana and vanilla. I try, but my brain totally rejects it. It's like, no. I try. People just look at me like, what are you saying? It's like, dude, I can't do katakana. It's not banana. It's the other word. Oh, you mean vanilla? I can't do it. I can't. Brain says no. But yeah, that's front glass. Okay, that was number 1. Man. Oh, this one's easy. This is a jet coaster. This should be fairly easy, I think. um, okay, so jet coaster is roller coaster. I guess it's the same in the UK as it is in the US. And I posted all of these that you're going to see here. I posted them on Facebook, and some of the reactions were pretty good. It's like, wait, what? Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. That was number two. Claim. This is this one drives me bonkers every time I hear it. This is complaint. So you sort of register a complaint or you complain. But here it's sort of like submit or something like that. And there are two words. One is claim, which they stole from us. Stole like it's ours. It's ours. Give it back. And then kujo, which is like a complaint, but in the Japanese version of complaint. Fuhei. Fu is just sort of like not. Is that like not? Fudo, like don't move. Not. It negates whatever comes after it. So not even or not fair or not flat or something like that. And I tell my students over every time they say it. Oh, one of my customers claimed me. I'm like, they claimed you? Well, wait. Is your boss selling you or were you lost? And they look at me confused every single time they say the same thing. Every time you say it, I have to correct you on this. It's complaint. Are they complained? So. 前も言った. It's like, oh yeah, you said that last time too. It's like, well, why are you making me say it again? But yeah. This one is one I struggle with in Japanese. So there's goods. Something goods, right? And they're talking about novelty items or products or items or merchandise. And I don't really know the difference in the Japanese of. I understand them in English, but I don't know how to use them in Japanese, right? So, oh god darn it. Actually, I can't. I know these words, but when I see the kanji, I totally forget what they are. So I think the first one is maybe shohin, possibly. I know that the final kanji is hin at the end, but I forget what they are. So it's hin, and then for items, it's something mono. Shinamono. That's it. But I don't know which one is which of the top two. Shohin, Seihin, that's it. That's it. Hey, what's up, Conquer? I hate the fact that if you move it forward, it totally changes, right? So Shohin, Seihin. I don't know the difference, Silver. I don't. Afterward, Midnight Chef's gonna say, "Well, this is this," and she'll launch into a description, and I'll nod my head and say, "Yes, okay." I'll ask questions, and I'll think I'll have it, like the movie Tenet, and then I'll walk away, and 30 seconds later, I'm like, "Wait, what did she say? How do I keep those straight in my head?" How's it going, Conquer? So yeah, goods. So I try to tell my students it's like novelty products or novelty merchandise or things like that. All right. Yeah, right. But so they are the same thing. I know it, right? And that's what confused me. So when do you use which one? Keshohin. What's the rule there? Keshohin, right? So hin is sort of product. I mean, it just it breaks my brain. And now I understand why my students get frustrated, right? But yeah, so they say goods, goods, goods all the time. Like, no, 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 no. Did you? Yeah, 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 yeah. Keshohin 違う. Because you're being more specific, right? I know, I know. It breaks my brain. Okay, so the next one is Trump. All of you who are triggered, get over it. Just get over it. If you're cheering like, yeah, Orange Man bad, Orange Man out, that's just as bad. Just as bad. So, Kisho is like, I guess makeup? I don't know. I don't know the boundaries. Is it only makeup? I don't. I don't know the boundaries for this word. Okay, so it's. Is it makeup? Is it only makeup? Let's find out. Okay, okay, classic, classic. Okay, so I asked Midnight Chef, and she sort of looked up, ran it through her brain. She's like, yeah, but it wasn't 100% confident. Yeah, it was kind of a, yeah, I mean, pretty much, right? So yeah, pretty much in general, Keshohin, which is the hin or the three like squares together, is makeup products, makeup items, makeup goods. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the next sort of Japanese English word, Trump. Which also threw me for a loop the first time I heard it. And this is so. Oh, let me get this right. So for us, we say playing cards or deck of cards. In Japanese, they say let's trump. Let's everybody let's trump. Get your trump on. Get your trump on. So let's trump, which means let's play a card game. That's what it means. But which game in particular is not identified. So we generally would say something like, we might say you want to play cards. Yeah, so what do you want to play? Well, let's play blackjack. Let's play old maid. Let's play cribbage. Does cribbage count? Let's play, what's the one with the four people? Bridge, something like that. And A is no laxative. But In Japanese, trump means it's let's play cards, I guess, but they talk about the suit instead of what they actually are. Weird. It took me a while to figure that one out. So the example I think I have here is babanuki, which might be old maid, which is this part I can't highlight it, but uh um and then concentration is the other one. So yeah, when you hear a Japanese person say, if they say let's play trumps or let's play trumps, that's not actually the card game that they want to play. They're just saying let's play a card game, and then that'll be decided afterward. All right. This one, I don't know why I wrote this one. I don't quite know what triggered this one. Oh, quite often, um, like during lessons, I'll ask my students, say, what did you get up to? Say, oh, I met my friend. And and I'll say to them, that is vague. So vague. So fluffing vague. But I met my friend. Like, no, I'm sorry, I can't take that. That is incorrect. You're so far over the conversation. Like, you didn't answer my question. Meeting your friend, and then, hey, your boy Denny. So I had to explain to them that meet sort of like there are levels to this, right? So quite often, what they sometimes they mean they ran into their friend. They ran into their friend Mike, right? Who's in the Niata. So sort of, I was walking down the street. I was exiting the station. I ran into my friend Mike, and then we stood in the corner and talked, or something like that. But they usually stop with "I met my friend," and I have to force them into, "Did you meet them and go somewhere else?" You know, what are you trying to say? So I explained to them that you run into someone and then you hang out. So did you just hang out with someone? Oh, it's like you just waste time. Like, yeah. We just hung out and wasted time. Yeah, we just hung out in the park. We hung out in the station. We hung out um, in the, I don't know, after work or something like that. And then, like, another common way is we sort of meet someone and then we show them around, right? Particularly in Tokyo, because you're just happen to say hi. It's super late in Massachusetts. Get some sleep. You got you on, yeah. It is late for you. Catch those Z's. And then we also use meet to sort of say, a common way is to say, like, when or where you met someone, right? So we met in high school. Where'd you meet your wife? Where'd you meet your husband? Where'd you meet your boyfriend? Where'd you meet your significant other? And we sort of say, like, that at a fixed time you met someone. So I met my friend in front of the station at 5. And then because there's always something that comes after that, right? But this word meet, when I think the Japanese translate from Japanese to English, oh, I met my friend. Or they say, I met my friend at a bar. And they'll say that, and I'm like, wait, what? Why are you telling me, like, when you met your friend? or where you met your friend for the first time. Like, no, 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 no. That's not what I meant. I'm like, well, what the heck did you mean? Well, I met my friend at a bar. It's like, no, 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 no. What did you do? And they say, I can't say that in English. No, you can't because it sends a different message. And they find that confusing, which I understand in Japanese. When they say it in Japanese, it makes perfect sense, but it doesn't translate because for us, it just means, oh, I met my friend. We've been friends for a while. We first met in blah, 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 so on and so forth. All right. I think we're almost to the end here. Possibly. Yeah, just got a few more. Okay. So, Viking. 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 Oh, God, I hate katakana so much. I'm going to become world president, and my first act is to get rid of katakana. Just burn it all to the ground, or rewrite the whole system. Burn it to the ground. Viking is a sort of all you can eat or a buffet. All you can eat, all you can drink. And I don't know the etymology behind Viking. I don't know why they call it a Viking. Like the Vikings themselves, were they like a bunch of barbarians? So if you hear a Japanese person say, oh, let's go to a Viking, what they mean is let's go to a all-you-can-eat lunch or a buffet, or for drinks, they won't say Viking. They'll just sort of go, let's go drink a lot. Let's go get free drinks or something like that. They'll try to talk their way around it. But what they mean is all you can drink, or bottomless or endless drinks or something like that. Okay. That was what, 7? That was 7, right? That was 7. All right. We're going to 8. I think there's another. Maybe 2 more. I don't remember this one. Oh, this is outlet. So, as you see at the bottom here, the explanation that I wrote for them is it's concentric plug. And they took the word concentric, but since it doesn't fit and it's not easy to say in katakana, they shortened it like they do everything else. Well, we do the same thing, but it's quite common in Japanese to mangle a word. Like a notebook computer is noto. Oh, I bought a new noto. Noto pasokon, or note PC, or noto. Just like, wait, what? Or personal computer, pasokon, or something like that. So concentric plug. They dropped the plug. They got the word concentric, and they're like, well, that's too much of a pain in the butt. We're not gonna try to say all of that. We'll just say consento. And they just dropped. They went up to CONCENT and stop. The Rick part, they're like, we don't do that. So how would we say that? It's like CO se. The C is sin, and then the N is and then the T is to. So consento. But it's outlet and socket. Right, depending on where you're from and your generation, which generation you're from. So if you ever hear consento, I don't want to say it was Kaz, but someone I knew was overseas. They were talking about they went to the hardware store, and they're like, I need a new consento. I need a new socket or outlet or something like that. They're trying to do some sort of home improvement, and the guy just looked at him like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, it's the thing, and they're like trying to plug it. They're showing the plug with their hand and everything. Hilarious. Okay. All right. The reason I'm rushing is I didn't shower yesterday. I usually shower the day before because I have class. But I didn't shower last night, so I gotta bail. All right, and next is Pierce. Pierce. What is that from? Oh, that's from another podcast I used to do. Pierce. But we sort of take the word pierce as the action. You get your ears pierced. But what they actually mean are earrings. and then we define them by either hoop, stud, or drop. But they'll just say, "Oh, nice pierce," and it could be anything. It could be a hoop, it could be a stud, it could be a drop. It covers everything. And what they're trying to say is, "I like your particular earring, be it a hoop or a stud or a drop." But yeah, pretty much pierce is mainly treated as a verb. We wouldn't say, "I like your." Oh, I almost said something that could be misinterpreted. Not gonna say that. But yeah, that's pierce. So it's hoop, stud, or drop earrings. Did I Google this to find out the different type of earrings in general? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I knew hoop. Well, I was familiar with stud. I kind of guessed at hoop. And drop, I had to sort of Google it as what type of categories of earrings that exist. So I think these are the broad categories: hoop, stud, and drop. A drop is sort of like they have a little chain and then like a jewel or something hanging from the end of it. Studs are just a stud, and hoops are the big hoops, like from the 70s, baby. All right. And oh, there are a few more. Okay, we've got to keep pushing forward. So, a dress shirt in Japanese is called wai. I hate katakana. Wai shatsu, and it comes from white shirt. Many Japanese people think it's the Y shape from when the collar is slightly open and then you have the buttons going down the front. So I had to Google this to figure out what exactly Y shirts it was, and every Japanese person I've told so far has been like, "Wait, it's not Y? Like, no, it means white shirt," and their heads explode because they're like, "All these years, I thought it just said it's a shirt with a Y." It's like, no, white shirt, but we mean dress shirt, and I believe it's similar across British English and American English. I'm pretty sure that's what the internet said anyway. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. What was that? 10? Doctor Who. Set menu. Oh, this one drives me crazy. They also say plate. Oh, I bought hamburger plate. Oh my God. It's like, wait a minute. It's a plate made out of hamburger? I mean, that sounds delicious, but I'm quite sure that's not what you mean. So if you're talking to someone who's Japanese, say, "Oh, I ate the lunch set." What they actually mean is the combo, right? The hamburger combo or the cheeseburger combo, or, right? The number one combo. An example is, for example, hamburger combo is a burger, fries, and the drink. And I'll have a hamburger combo with extra pickles, and combo comes from combination. And we usually tag something in front of. Let me think about this for just a minute. So, like, we have hamburger combo. So if we have a lunch combo, I don't know how we would modify that with adjectives, and my brain is not there right now. But we will say hamburger combo or the number one combo or something like that. And they'll also say plate. I need to make one for plate. Oh, I had the hamburger plate. They just mean the hamburger combo, which is like a. Oh, they'll say Hamburg, actually. I'm like, wait, the place? So they have like Hamburg plate or hamburger plate. What they mean is like Salisbury steak, something along those lines. This silence is me trying to process some other information that's related to this. I'm not sure if I've got all the information correct. So a hamburger plate would be a Salisbury steak with maybe salad, maybe fries. It depends on the restaurant. And maybe a drink, something like that. But it varies from restaurant to restaurant. But you'll hear something something plate, and that just means there are multiple items. You'll have protein, veggie, and maybe some carbs all in one plate. But what those things are will vary. All right. What was that? That was 11. All right. Pinch. I don't know why pinch is pinch, but pliers. That's what they're talking about, and I'm pretty sure they're the same in the U.S. They're referenced the same in British English and American English. If there's any, if there are any Brits, please let me know if I'm incorrect here. I trusted Google, and Google said that was the case, but I'm not 100% confident. But yeah, was it Ragio Pinch, which are long nose pliers? Yeah, tool names are also different, but we won't get into that right now. That was 12. Smart. I've actually broken my students of several of these habits. The plate one, not yet. The set one, not yet. Dress shirt, I think they self correct on that, and I think they self correct on this one too. Hey, Carl JPN. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. How's it going? So, it's Waseigo time. Um, so smart. I've forgotten what. So smart alone, like he is smart. You passed? Okay, now, well, before you answer, there are two things you could have passed. Oh, the TOEIC test. I didn't even know you were taking the TOEIC test. So you've got TOEIC test. I didn't even know about the TOEIC test. I thought the qualifying for the Olympic thing or your driver's test. Your practice test is in a few minutes, like today, like right now. Ganbatte. Oh, driver's test. Okay, no, okay, your driver's test. Okay. Good luck. Give us the results. Ganbarimasu. Ganbatte kudasai. Ouen shitemasu. All right. So, I was really lucky. Hikaru. I just had to transfer my military and U.S. license over to a Japanese license before they introduced the rules. You got 100 points on TOEIC. What's the max? I don't even know. Is the 100 like? Is that 100% or only 100 points? 100's max. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations, sir. GG's. Nama's 95. I see. That's pretty good. Yeah, like only 5 mistakes, right? That's a very tiny window. Very narrow opening. All right. So smart. I think in Japanese means slim. Right? Or fit. So she's slim. But when we hear smart, we think, oh, he's smart. Now, if you use smart as a modifier, to GP to test track now, good luck. But if you put smart in front of dresser, he or she is a smart dresser, or he or she is a stylish dresser is something completely different. But yeah, the first time I heard like she's smart, I'm like, what, like brainy? And what confused me was, oh, look at her dress. She's very smart. I'm like, wait, why are we talking about her dress and then saying she's smart? What are we? What's going on here? What's going on here? It sort of just means slim. Whereas we would hear, he's smart, or Kashkoi, or Kim Mei, no, something like that. Okay, where are we? 13. I mean, where do we have to go? What are we up to? Oh, that was it. All right, we're done. Made it. Made it. I gotta go shower, you guys. All right, that brings us to the end. As usual, I got slightly distracted. I tried to keep on course because I can't be late today. I think 3 lessons in a row now, I've managed to not be late after 2 or 3 years. And I pushed the whole. So I'm like, hey, can we push back the start time so I wouldn't be late, right? And even though I pushed the time back a whole hour, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Sonic. It's linguistics and language. It's I need to sort of shift gears. So, on the surface, language looks complex. And the fact that there are different languages appears to make it all look very, very confusing and messy. But I've been digging around since 2007 trying to figure this out, this whole language thing out, because the more complex something looks on the surface, the underpinnings themselves must be simple. In general. And so I noticed that my students were making, I'm sorry. So I noticed I was making the same mistakes when I would speak Japanese. I noticed when my students would make mistakes, I was correcting the same type of mistakes. Not grammar, not vocabulary, but there's a whole thought process involved. And there was this, if you work in the language industry, language teaching industry, we often tell the students to think, don't think in your native tongue, think in English. But no one to this day has clearly defined what does it mean to think in a language. And me being me, I couldn't let this go. It bothered me the entire time I worked at the language school here from 1990 to 2000. When did Nova go out of business? 2007? Had to be about 2007, right? No? No? It had to be about 2007, right? So the company I worked for went out of business. But while I worked there at this place called Nova, we would always tell the students, think in English. And it was like, well, how do I do that? Silence. Complete and total silence, Sonic. No one knew. And it drove me bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. I hate not knowing. So once the company I went for went out of business and I started teaching privately, I realized I was just doing the same thing, correcting the same thinking errors, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So I just spent like every single day Googling about linguistics and language, and I just watched so many videos about language. And the first step was realizing we ask ourselves every sentence that we utter, every utterance is actually an answer to a question. But we're processing this information so quickly that we don't realize we're asking ourselves questions and then answering and just providing the answer. And so the first thing I tried to do was force them to stop making the sentence in Japanese and write down the questions they wanted to answer. that didn't go over very well. They just wanted to translate. Oh, oh boy, the fights I used to have with people, and then they would end up quitting. But I'm stubborn, super stubborn. Like, okay, fine. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure from your resistance and the fact that when you did follow directions, you produced pretty good English. But when you stopped, you fell back into your old thought process. I think I'm on the right track. But it was so vague. I'm like, this is not clear. What is happening? Why is it that there are some people who are, French or Japanese or Chinese, who they sound like they're speaking English, and that sounds weird. They're talking about the right things in the right order. Okay, so what are the right things? Just months and months and months of just digging into linguistics and something called what a Bix and Calp. There's like two different forms of communication. One is academic, and one is like social interaction. We communicate in different ways. And I noticed that kids or adults that attended a school, a cooking school, or some sort of trade school where it was really, really strict. Here's the teacher, here's the information, here are the questions, answer the questions, present this. They sound right when they speak English. They talked about the right things in the right order. So I start digging around into that, and then I'm like, okay. I tried to force the students to draw what they were going to talk about. If you don't want to answer the questions, just draw it. And they wouldn't draw it. I'm like, just draw what you want to talk about, and then just point at the thing and talk about it. Why? Why do I have to do that? And I didn't have an answer. I'm like, I think this will help, but I don't know why. If you follow these instructions, let's figure it out together. A lot of pushback. Lot of pushback. So I gave up on that. Said, okay. Just bring your receipts in. Bring in your receipts, and let's talk about what you purchased and what you ate. Oh, I left my receipts. Oh, I threw them away. It's like, God dang it. And I started to zero in on the fact that it's the big difference between English and Japanese, and Silver can attest to this. In English, we talk about the object first. We identify the name of the thing that we're going to talk about, not the category of thing, the thing itself. And then we assign the appropriate verb. So I've said this before. So in English, it would be something like we'd identify what we ate. So I ate food. Okay, all right, what kind of food? Thai food. Okay, what specific thing did you eat? Well, curry. Okay, which particular curry? Green curry. Okay, can we get some ingredients? Because English is an adjective-centric language. We need adjectives to define the object, right? And part of the adjective category are the components or the material of whatever you're talking about. So it would have something like chicken and capsicum, or chicken and bell pepper, green Thai curry, right? Or the color will come first. Green, and then the ingredients, chicken and bell pepper, and then origin, Thai curry, right? That's what we do in English. We go to that detail. Japanese is the opposite. They'll identify that and say, that's too detailed. And so they'll move up a level and say, well, what category does this come from? Thai food. Sometimes they'll go a category above that and say ethnic food. So now, as you see, if we go up that level, right? If we go up to, I ate ethnic food today, that's everything non-Japanese, the rest of the globe. How am I supposed to figure out what you're talking about? So then it puts you on this path of having to ask a bazillion and one questions. And as English speakers, we don't like asking for that adjectival information. We feel like we're interrogating the person we're speaking with. We're happy to ask when, where, how, right? but we're not comfortable asking for the details. I feel like we're interrogating someone, or it sounds as if they don't want to talk to us. It's like, well, I'm just going to say ethnic because that's it. It's not important. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, okay. Right. So once I realized, I sort of got derailed, right? Uh, it's English is about the object and then the adjectives in front of it. And if you all remember, and you guys will say, I don't remember this, there is the royal order of adjectives. There's an actual order that we um, present adjectives. I'm not going to go into it. There are about 5 or 6 categories, depending if you're British or American, slightly different. But we have the, my, your, two, three, four, five, six. That comes first. That's our determiner. And then we have an opinion about it, cute or lovely or delicious, and then an observation, which is more British than it is American. And that opinion and that observation, really blurry. Don't understand that distinction because I'm not British. Excuse me. Then we go to the physical description of like age, size, color. And then I think uh, then it's after the physical description. Then it is physical description, material, origin, and purpose, something like that. We never say them all together. We usually just say we give the determiner, we'll give an opinion, we'll hit on the physical description, and then like where it's from, and then the purpose. We don't try to put all the things in there at once. I limit my students to 3. Where was I going with this? Language, how language works, this journey I've been on. Okay, so to think in English, you identify the object, you apply the appropriate adjectives in front. In Japanese, it's completely different. You identify the category of the thing you're discussing, and then the verb. And that's where I forgot why I'm talking about this. Can someone remind me how I started down this path? Um, so that's what's different between Japanese and English. They identify the category of the thing and then a sort of a general verb. What's more important is describing the verb, describing the scene that the action took place. That's why Japanese doesn't translate. That's why Google struggles with Japanese because there are no objects and they don't say who did the action. So that's why everything you see that comes out of Google is weird because since there's no clear object, Google has nothing, the translation has nothing to hold on to. Yesterday, so shopping, let's say I went shopping, right? That's the action. So let's describe the scene under which, prior to going shopping, what was the situation prior to going shopping? So yesterday, before it started raining, I realized I needed to pick up some important goods. So I rushed to the supermarket. And that's the answer to the question, what did you do yesterday? That you're saying, well, that's what they said what they did. They didn't. They answered the question, where did I go? I went to the supermarket. That's not what did you do? That's where did you go? The English equivalent, the English answer would be, I picked up um, some tofu and soy sauce and some ramen from this supermarket because I'm going to make blah, blah, blah. That's what we would say if you want to be concise. If you're a lazy or sloppy speaker, then you would probably say, oh, I went shopping. And then I would look at you like, whatever. But to be a clear communicator, and that's what we're actually taught, but how to speak in school, but people tend to forget that. So I have to get my students to shift from trying to describe the situation prior to the action they carried out, and then how they carried out the action, why they carried out the action, with whom they carried out the action, and how they felt about carrying out the action. It's like, you can't talk about that. What the heck was that final product? What did you have in your hand? What did you have in your hand? So, why did I start down this? How did I get here? I've gotten lost. But that's my job. We started talking about. You said that was interesting. We talked about language, and for some reason, I went to explain thinking in the second language. I don't know how I got here. I've gotten lost along the way. But yeah, so if you meet anyone, if you have any Japanese acquaintances or friends, and you're trying to sort of interpret what they're saying, sort of ask them, hey, did you buy something? Or what was the thing that you purchased? Right? They're trying to describe a dish. Was it pasta? Was it curry? Oh, what was in it? Right? And try to get the details. Try to get the adjective information like size, shape, color, the components, brand name, right? And that'll help them sort of formulate their thoughts clearly, and then just talk about those things. And that's my job. I mean, that's why I have gray hair, because from 2007, uh, even to now. Oh, we're talking about systems and the things underneath. Okay, okay. So language. I got one more thing. It's only 1 o'clock. I have to leave by 1:30. Um, so how does language work? What do we talk about? What do we do in language? We identify in English. I'm going to talk solely about English because Japanese seems to be a bit of a mess. There's recently been a discovery that most people don't know how to present information in companies. Workers don't know how to present their thoughts and information and ideas. Uh, During this whole sort of pandemic, people have been forced to go online and present their thoughts via the video screen, and people are getting fired because they can't present. They're not taught how to present here. They don't learn the 5 paragraph essay. Um, yeah, they don't know how to present factual information. It's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. So, depending on where you went to school and when you went to school, you probably learned the 6 expositions. I'm going to try to remember them now. One is like a definition. What is this thing? You defining it. Another is so. Actually, what it's called this? They're called the 6, and I bought a book about it. And so we have. Here we are. We have instructions. Is one form of exposition. Another is a recount, like what happened, what actually happened. That's when you talk to a police officer. Tell me what happened. An explanation is how something works. A narrative is not the same as a recount. A narrative is a story. Once upon a time, blah, 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 blah. And then you have information, which is like a definition. And then you have your argument, like an opinion piece. Those are the 6 very broad forms of communication that we have identified in the West and how we communicate. You experienced this in school. They just didn't tell you that's what you were doing. You probably experienced it maybe in elementary school, and it sort of ramped up over the years. When I went through elementary school, they made it very, very explicit. This is what you're doing. A laser. So then underneath that, there are some other sort of fixed patterns. But the core of it, we identify the thing, and then we put it into one of those exposition patterns. In everyday conversation, that's all we're doing. We're just sort of telling people how to do things, what something is, what something isn't, right? Contrasting, comparing. But there's also another layer below that that is so subtle that we don't realize we're doing it. We speak in graphs, charts and graphs, timelines. We do it constantly. Right now, I'm delivering a timeline of how I ended up understanding what it means to think in a second language. I worked here during this time. We had we said this, and then the company went out of business, and then I had to figure out what was going on. This is what I tried first. This is what I tried second. This is what I tried third. It's a whole timeline, right? We do this constantly, and so there are bar graphs, timelines, pie charts. We do this all the time. 8 out of the 15 cars available in Group 3 are midship. But we'll cheat and say most of the cars are midship. Most of the cars on the grid are FR, right? We're constantly speaking in pie charts and these types of things. We see them as a graph. I don't know how, if that translates over to Japanese. I don't think they're really, it's more an emotional language. It's more about how they feel about something and the impact something had on them. But yeah, that's how, I'm going to be very general here. That's how language works. We identify the components, and then we speak basically in graphs, in tables, charts, list, ordered list, unordered list. What are your 3 favorite cars in Gran Turismo? Oh, that's an ordered list. Someone's asked me for an ordered list. What do you like this game? What do you like about this game? That's an unordered list. And then I just list the things I like about it, right? Why do you like Gran Turismo Sport? Again, that's an unordered list. What did you do today? Timeline. So this is what I'm focusing on. This is what I'm trying to help my students achieve. Identify the proper thing to talk about, and then just move them through the different sort of presentation formats, paradigms, chart, line graph, ordered list, unordered list, table of contents. When someone asks you, I had to figure this out. It took me a while to figure this out. Students will say, "Oh, I talk to my friends." It's like, that sounds off. I mean, technically, I've been given the signal. I've been given the signal to wrap it up. So, what did you talk about? Oh, we just talked. And then I realized about 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we actually give a table of contents. If someone says, "Oh, what did you do?" I hung out with my friends. We talked about, how to make money on the internet. We talked about the rise and fall of Bitcoin, and we talked about our favorite content creators. And that's just a table of contents. An unordered list, we call a table of contents. So I practiced that with Midnight Chef, and we talked about it. And the very next day, she hung out with her sister, and I said, "So hey, what did you guys talk about?" And she stopped and she looked at me. I could see her. I could see the wheels turning. I said, "Just identify the topic very clearly in your head. What is the noun? Just say it." And she nailed it. Up until this point, we've been married for I don't know how many years. And she always asks, "Well, we talked about the same thing. Same thing, girl talk." I'm like, man, that sounds like BS to me, but all right. But now that I've identified what we do, it's a table of contents. And once I explained it to her, she nailed it. Am I patting myself on the back because I'm awesome? Yes. Do I love me? Yes. Do I love me more than I love you guys? I hate to say it, but yeah, I love me a little bit more. I'm sorry. I gotta put it out there. I cannot tell a lie. Yes, it is. It is. It's exactly that. It is exactly that. It's just who and what. Who did what? Who did what to what? And then where you did it, how you did it, and why you did it comes after. Japanese is the exact opposite of that. All right, I've been told that I've got to go. I need to shave. I need to shower. I got 20 minutes to shave and shower and get on my bicycle and get out of here and be a responsible adult. I'm not going to be late today. Huh? She's like, stop saying it and just go do it. Oh my God. See how she treats me? You see how she treats me? No respect, I tell you. No respect. All right, I gotta go, you guys. Apparently, I need to just shut up and turn off the podcast. Wow. Just wow. I'll see you guys later tonight. Most likely Gran Turismo Sport. It depends on how I feel. I'm a bit exhausted, you guys. It might be Returnal. It might be Gran Turismo Sport. Something's gonna happen tonight. Not sure what. Love you guys. Mwah. But I love me more. I'm sorry. Fair, I said it. I love me so much. I love me so much. It's bad. In my mind, I'm the most lovable creature on the planet. Everyone should love me as much as I love myself. You should love you as much as I love myself also. Okay? Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a pat on the back. All the hugs. All the hugs. All right, I gotta go before she says anything else. Bye. Bye. You just need to groove.